evening. I'm Isaiah Jacob with your sports update. After splitting 2 games to start the season on the road, it's time for the Blue Jackets to play their home opener against the New Jersey Devils. Jet Greaves will get back in the net tonight for the Jackets. You can hear it right here on The Fan. Pre-game coverage starting at 6:30. Puck drops at 7. In NFL news, the Tennessee Titans have fired coach Brian Callahan just 6 games into his second season as the team's head coach. Callahan finishes with a 4-19 record, including 1-5 this season with the rookie first overall pick Cam Ward as the team's starting quarterback. In college football, Indiana moved up to number 3 in the AP poll, its highest ranking in program history. Ohio State and Miami sit at 1 and 2. This update was sponsored by the BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
And Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Kraft shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Monday. Whoa, that's right, a Monday. No roundtable tonight. Coming up here at the bottom of the hour, it is the Jackets home opener. They got the Devils in town tonight over at Nationwide Arena. I am Brandon Beam, hanging out with my guy, A-Ward Sports, Austin Ward, Isaiah behind the glass. Austin, happy Monday.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. I don't think I've done a Monday show since, August.
This is disorienting.
It is.
Go to Champaign, come right back, spend a Monday in here with you. 30-minute show.
Yeah, it's just going to be a whirlwind.
Go Jackets, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Big home opener for them tonight against the Devils. Again, coming up here at 6:30. We'll get you over to Nationwide Arena, 7 o'clock puck drop over there. Austin, great show lined up for you here this evening. We're going to talk some Buckeyes here during this segment. Next segment, there's a lot of things happening in college football.
No,
right?
really?
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening this weekend. So we'll do a little.
What could that be?
We'll do a little mirtage maybe coming up here in the second segment. Before we get into that, though, what were your main takeaways from the Champaign Room this past weekend?
Well, Ohio State is really good at football, Beam.
Yeah.
And I understand there are some people, including my co-host on the Austin and Berm show, who Saturday afternoon on Snap Judgments was heated.
Why?
Didn't think that performance had warning signs all over it.
First of all right, let me combat that for a second. It's a top 25 road win
easy.
In the game of the century where that was the loudest that stadium's ever been.
It's, I think, pretty easy to combat that. And I don't think that means that he made or any of his points were invalid. Like Ryan Day himself said in the fourth,
he addressed it.
Said that they lost focus and that they took their foot off the pedal and coasted to the finish line. And that's true. But guess what? If you build a 20-point lead on the road against a ranked opponent, you're kind of afforded the luxury of doing so. And I don't think that should overshadow the rest of the positives. Are there ways that Ohio State can continue to improve? Of course there are. They can be more efficient in the red zone. The running game can still get more creative. They can still find more explosives. Did the defense take a step back? I think that's probably a bridge too far, even if they allowed 2 touchdowns.
Did they put something on film during a 2-minute drill and when a team went tempo that maybe other teams during the back half of the schedule may take advantage of or will try? Yes, I think that's a fair question.
Yeah, but and then I would combat that, Beamer, by saying, well, I hope that they have the same skill talent at quarterback and with Hank Beatty that Illinois had with Luke Altmaier. Like, that is a good football team. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I'm looking at the rest of the schedule for Ohio State in the regular season. Who's going to duplicate that? Because I know that Penn State's not. Wisconsin's not on Saturday. UCLA.
They've got their own issues they're working through.
Rutgers, Purdue. The blue-collar boys up north with their new fancy shirts.
I didn't see that until 2 minutes before the show started.
That would have really rattled you if I threw that out and you had no idea where. And I don't know why Sharon.
What's the message to your team this week, Mr. Coach Moore? I'm wearing, you see the collar on my shirt? It's a blue collar. We got to get to work.
Well,
it had his name on it.
If you've reached the point of props in the middle of your second year as a head coach, that's not a good sign. So I'm looking at this and I think that you have to put that in context. The rest of the schedule, Ohio State is going to be a double-digit favorite in every single game moving forward. And their intention is to play 16 of these games. So they are continuing to be methodical on offense. They are limiting possessions. They are limiting plays. That's to help their offense and to help their defense, which You're still looking at some of the depth situations here where Edric Houston was out. Lorenzo Styles didn't play at Illinois. So those things are significant.
First start for Devin Sanchez in his career.
And he's going to have, that's another spot that you can point to that's going to be like, okay, you have some learning opportunities and room for growth coming out of this. But I don't have it in me. Done this a long time, and I think there has to be some sort of recalibration. That I think about some of these games where you nitpick Ohio State winning by 35 points, or they could have done this to Maryland, or they could have done that to Rutgers. And I can understand why Illinois would somewhat fit in that same boat for some people, but Indiana is for real. I definitely have to continue to stress that because
only other team that Illinois lost to.
I was skeptical of Kurt Signetti, and they did get boat raced in that game.
Got hammered.
And they lost decisively on Saturday against Ohio State as well, but they're very much actually still in the mix to earn a playoff bid. That Illinois-Washington game is going to be pretty important. Both of those teams now have lost to Ohio State, but Washington turned it around and looked really good. Illinois beat USC, which then turned around and smacked Michigan, which prompted this blue-collar conversation. So I think Illinois is a good football team. I was impressed by their plan on both sides of the football. They were just outclassed by Ohio State, which is, they're like the big brother. They can stick their arm out, and they can hold that little brother at bay. And if they want to win by 40 or 50, they can. They're not trying to do that, Beamer. And I think I can understand why people are frustrated that they're not, but they don't need to.
I think that was also something that was a learning experience from last year, that they really said, oh, okay, well, we can just go at the tempo that we want to go in. And listen, again, I'm not saying that everything on Saturday against the Illini was perfect. Ryan Day will tell you that. Every coach over there will tell you that. You listen to some of the great post-game audio or interviews that you guys got, or Tyler Danberg on the network. Like the players were upset with their performance. You listen to Sonny Styles talk after Saturday's game, and he was upset. And then in the upset of all upsets, Ryan Day, who was pretty surly all last week, comes out and plays the Uno reverse card. Our guys played well. Yep, we need to address some things. Maybe our running back's not hitting the hole. Maybe we're not getting some push. From my vantage point, I thought the push was pretty good. That's what he said. But you know what? I thought it was a good effort. That's a good team. Kind of just let our foot off the gas. So, yeah, we can nitpick all that we want. But again, the blueprint is there, and they did the same exact thing last year. Again, couple of mishaps on the road at Oregon, last game of the year against Michigan, and then fire-breathing dragon towards the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't know. We had so many circumstances that we didn't know what was going to happen in the playoffs. Now that it was actually pen to paper, you have proof that it works. We're just going to do the same thing again. Did you ever, Isaiah, you can chime in here too, on Saturday, did you ever feel like the game was in jeopardy?
Absolutely not.
No, you didn't.
It never was.
You didn't feel like it was in jeopardy. And to Austin's point, it's Big Brother sticking his hand out on Little Brother's head and just saying, all right, like,
keep swinging.
Yeah, that's cool. Like what you do. You want to go tempo and you want to have Luke Altmaier throw 55 times in a game? Okay, that's fine. You're going to get some yards. Great goal line stand before halftime. Unbelievable that they were able to do that. And then Illinois whooshed right down the field. You did have the boomerang answer on the second drive. But still, never once on the road, top 25 team, did you feel that game was in danger. And if you're playing that way, and I know that there's a lot more to this team, that's a dangerous thing for college football to know that they're not even close to hitting their ceiling.
Yeah, when it got to be 10-0, I said to Adam King, who was sitting on my left in the press box at Memorial Stadium, a beautiful press box, by the way.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. So, well, it's time to hit the old dusty trail. Like, this one is over.
Done.
Because there was no way, and it was the same deal at Washington. Ohio State has methodically won these two road games that are not easy. They made it look simpler than it has any right being.
See Ole Miss on Saturday? It was Wazoo that they struggled with at home. There's no other team in college football who has done what they've done and just marched through everyone that they've played.
Lane Kiffin laying an egg? Why, never.
Your guy.
That can't be right. Anyway, I think my takeaway overall, Beamer, was that the issues are always there. I will say that before
of course.
Ryan Day says it tomorrow, which he absolutely will. And I think you compare his post-game response against Minnesota to what he said on Saturday against Illinois, I think he also understands that he can't continually press the same button. He was trying to challenge Ohio State, his team coming out of that comfortable win over Minnesota, and I think he wanted to snap them into focus so that they were able to get out and set the tone at 11 a.m. Central Time against a ranked opponent on the road on Saturday, and they did that. And if they were upset, the players in the locker room, now they loved hoisting the yellow buck.
Yeah.
They were smiling. They were having a good time on the field. I think that they were, there is some talk about ways to improve, but almost everybody that I talked to, and Berman and I got on for the Notebook on 97.1 The Fans YouTube channel, if you missed that, like they knew that they accomplished something that was significant and meaningful. And maybe that was because Ryan Day got their attention afterwards and said, we're going to finish games better, because he sent the starters back out there with 2 minutes to go to make sure that Brett Bielema didn't get any style points back on the board there. And they closed that out.
Substitutions.
Arvell Reese goes out and gets that sack and ends that decisively. And I think you can't just say every week, well, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Yeah. Get ready for next week. They deserve every now and again to have a pat on the back and to enjoy a 45-minute flight home and an early night to get out and to do whatever you want on a Saturday in Columbus.
How does it feel to be the number 2 team in the country 3 weeks ago? Only now to find yourself without a coach. We'll do that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The smell of undercarriage wafting from the Jackets dressing room means hockey is back.
Gee, something smells funky.
It's Blue Jackets week here on The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The 2026 Buckeye Cruise for Cancer sets sail on the Silver Sea Silver Ray. It's an intimate ship with an even better experience. It's all-inclusive of beverages, shore excursions, taxes, and gratuities. Sail to bucket list ports like the Grand Turk, St. Martin, and St. Thomas, with Buckeye greats including Ryan Day, Bobby Carpenter, A.J. Hawk, the Boren Brothers, Ezekiel Elliott, Ryan Shazier, and more. Sailing from Fort Lauderdale, February 17th through the 24th. Call 614-792-6204 to book today.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And Toyota's got more all-wheel drive choices than anybody. Now through November 3rd, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Corolla gas models. Excludes GR and Corolla Cross. Or lease a gas-powered 26 Corolla LE for $209 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Morning Juice, real football talk. Just two guys who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said.
And that's how she wrote.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Now streaming mornings on YouTube and 10 TV Plus. Attack and dominate.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices.
Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our low prices. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Blue skies and a bit of a breeze and dry and warm on this Monday. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Overnight, we're going to fall back down to around 50 degrees. Some patchy fog possible in the morning. Otherwise, plenty of sunshine Tuesday. Again, back in the mid-70s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably. Maybe. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Coming up here, bottom of the hour, get you over to Nationwide Arena, home opener for the Blue Jackets. Take on the Devils at home. By the way, we here in the Buckeye Show, sponsored by CareSource and United Healthcare. All kinds of good stuff. If you wouldn't look over the other side of the glass, Nate has actually stepped in too.
Oh, I wonder why.
How's it going?
So, James Franklin fired guy. Now, Nate and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. Austin, you were unable to watch the Northwestern.
Oh, I was tuned in, baby.
Versus Penn State game, but you were able to listen because you were in Illinois. You were able to listen to the Wildcat Radio Network and Northwestern's play-by-play call of it. I don't know how many people actually out there were watching Penn State versus Northwestern, because you did have a great 3:30 window. Like that Indiana-Oregon game was terrific. You had Red River going on where Texas kind of sent Oklahoma back into reality. But I had the quad box rolling, and I'm telling you what, man, even more so than that Indiana-Oregon game, because I'm looking at them like, both teams are good. You know, have fun. Someone's going to win this game. Someone's going to lose this game. My eyes were drawn to Penn State versus Northwestern. That was a team that had flat out quit on their coach.
They did not want to be on that field.
They didn't. Their defense was getting gashed. Their offense stinks for Drew Aller that he's out. Like, he tried like hell to get that first down, and then unfortunately for him, he had that big leg injury. Other than that, though, for a team that was heralded in the preseason as championship or bust, all-in mentality. James Franklin, he's going to be Ryan Day of this year. Couldn't get it done, couldn't get it done. They're bringing everyone back. We're going to invest in the transfer portal. They're going to do this, that, and the other. That Oregon game a couple of weeks ago just destroyed them. Couldn't get back up for the UCLA game. And then you would think at home against a team in Northwestern, if there was one game that you could say, all right, we're Penn State, we're going to have some pride, that we're going to beat them like a drum, and you go out there and lose, I actually give Penn State a lot of credit for firing James Franklin.
Boy, I don't know. As the number one proponent and engineer of the Franklin is a fraud bandwagon for the last 15 years or so.
Well, yeah, it spans back to your time covering the SEC.
Penn State. I don't know that I actually give Penn State credit for that. I don't know that they deserve it because it's multiple years late. And now they're actually at the point where James Franklin.
But you had to do something. You couldn't wait.
I know they did.
We all knew that. None of us thought they were going to do it.
Correct, Nate. Correct.
But now they're also, this is to the timing is to the detriment of their program in reality, because there's nothing they can do to salvage the season. They are out of the college football playoff race. That is over.
They might not make a bowl game.
Yeah, I know. But James Franklin was absolutely going to leave for another job, and he's been trying for multiple years. And so you just say, all right, James, you're free to go contact anyone you want. You want to interview with Florida during the season? Knock yourself out. You want to talk to Oklahoma State? Go for it. You want to talk to Martin Jarman and go to UCLA?
Go for it.
Talk. Like, do whatever. But the actual firing in the middle of the year for $49 million?
Yeah, but there's a clause in there that says, like, all right, if he takes another job, whatever it is, like, he has to be looking for another one. I don't know if it's like a probationary period or what. I'm not really adept into reading buyout clauses in contracts, but
it's not that fun.
It's not. I don't think it's actually $49 million. If he were to just go away and not do anything for like the rest of his tenure that he was supposed to be at Penn State, I then think it's 49. But if he gets back into coaching next year or whenever it is, I think it dips down significantly.
I understand that there is some offset opportunities in there, but he doesn't have to do that. I mean, you just could have forced his hand and be like, find something else. It's time for a mutual parting of ways, and you're not going to get this full amount. That's the only problem I have with it. Yes.
Well, I'm wondering if they tried that. And he said no.
I mean, it's pretty quick for that to have turned around. I mean, they just lost to Northwestern on Saturday, and they announced it the next day. Hey, did he walk in and say,
it was like 2 o'clock.
What do we feel about the Adidas rumblings?
Yeah,
that they forced their hand.
I think Pat Kraft came out and said that this was being fully absorbed by the athletic department. And maybe that will wind up being true. I'm very skeptical of the Adidas rumors that they are the ones that coughed up $50 million to make this happen right now. That would not make any sense for Adidas as a company to be footing the bill.
And if
they're not even in charge yet.
If you aren't aware what Nate's talking about, there were reports earlier that Adidas was the one that said, hey, we'll foot the $49 million if you get rid of this guy, because Penn State is transitioning from Nike to Adidas with a, I don't know, I think teens of millions of dollars a year for a sponsorship for their apparel.
Yeah, but that would make no business sense whatsoever for Adidas, even if they want to be supportive and get this partnership underway with Penn State. That's dead money. It is not going to improve the Penn State athletic department. It is not going to NIL.
No, it's to reset you.
Like, that's just to get it. But that could have happened anyway. So it's not a company like Adidas or Nike or Under Armour. They didn't start making billions of dollars by throwing away $50 million at a time for no return. So
now, if it happened, like,
maybe I'm 100% wrong about that, but I'm taking it with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Let's play a hypothesis here for a second. If it was like Phil Knight and the Oregon coach was in the same situation as like James Franklin, then I could understand where they would say, well, Nike has like ponied up to fire Oregon's coach. That I would more so understand than Adidas, who is a massive brand and has nothing to do with Penn State other than a future sponsorship deal.
Yeah, and which is not in effect quite yet. So I could be 100% wrong. I'm not in State College. I have not parsed through the entire contract. I'm here with you, and I'm here on the Buckeye Show. All I know is we can all agree that James Franklin could not return. And in terms of the timing, making this known that it has to happen, I don't disagree with either of you on that front. I just feel like financially, it especially now if you have to buy everybody else out, which again could also include $6.2 million that would be owed to Jim Knowles for the next 2 years. That's the timing from that front. And the way that college football operates, and you also have a massive renovation project going on at Beaver Stadium, and you have all of these commitments to the roster that they've made in terms of NIL. Like, I'm looking at this for the first time and being like, I blamed Penn State for the previous few years. You put yourself in this situation. You got absolutely duped by Jimmy Sexton when you didn't have a president and you didn't have an athletic director, and you gave him all this money. You can't back out of that. Like, you locked yourself into that corner.
I heard someone say one time the worst thing that happened to Penn State was the fluke win over Ohio State.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, Franklin has gone years ago, and they're not in this situation.
Well, they might be.
We assume they would have gotten rid of him at some point.
Yeah, correct.
Well, the record that we always reflect on in the top 5 matchups would still be stuck at 0 without the fluke one win.
Correct. And to your point on that, like, who knows what a new coach would have done 5 years ago, 6 years ago, if that were the case, if James Franklin were fired at that point. But it was crazy, man. That's a crazy way to finish up a college football weekend. I keep going back to like preseason hype, national championship bust.
All three of us going on here going, why?
Bust. We kept saying bust. Bet on bust. It's James Franklin.
Just they weren't going to do it ever, but never in our wildest dreams and your wildest dreams.
I have some wild
Isaiah,
dreams.
Would you ever think that they're winless in the conference midway through the season
and are going to start 0-6 more than likely in the conference?
I mean, it's rough. That is a pretty rough way to, undergo a season
Motor
you were
City
supposed
Bowl
to win a national championship.
Is luxurious.
What about the Pinstripe Bowl?
Where do they play that?
I believe, if I'm not wrong, they play that up in Boston.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense.
What else do you take away from the college football weekend? Michigan lost at USC. That was pretty handy. Indiana, real deal. Sig takes his boys on the road. Both those teams are good. Those are two really good Big Ten football teams.
Yeah. SEC officiating is awful.
Yeah, the timeout.
It's nothing. The fumble at halftime.
Yeah, I wasn't doing a timeout, actually. I was just clapping.
That's how I clap. Yeah. Makes
too.
a lot of noise. You can really hear that at Jordan Hare when you're clapping with a couple fingers into the palm.
Yeah.
I put it in context of Ohio State's schedule thus far and what it means for their resume, Beamer. And that's if you want to discount and say, it's only Illinois, it's only Washington. Washington's offense is going right back to what it was doing before they played Ohio State. They've done it a couple of weeks after. Damon Williams was fantastic on Friday night. That game shaping up with Illinois in a couple of weeks is going to be massive because the winner of that can find itself right back in the playoff mix. And what USC did, a couple weeks after that loss to Illinois and just absolutely throttling Michigan. They were never in danger of losing that game. That's some pretty impressive stuff, and I think that gives a little bit more validity to Illinois as well.
David Braun, winner of the weekend, though. Good job, Northwestern Wildcats. Austin, before we get out of here, got a score prediction for the Jackets tonight? Home opener.
Yeah, that'll be 7-3 Jackets.
Ooh, 7-3. I like it. I'm going to go 4-1. We are not here tomorrow. Buckeye Roundtable is on. We will be back on Wednesday. Everybody enjoy some hockey right here on The Fan.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio Sports.